it was a commitment that Muhammad made to me from the very beginning of our relationship. The first night we met, he said to me that I would be the perfect wife if he ever decided to get married again, that I would be the woman that he would want to have his children. And that stability, that commitment up front really made me just fall head over heels immediately for him. For the first 6 years of our 15-year marriage, I tried to actually win Muhammad and his family to Christ. I was still going to church periodically and trying to maintain a relationship with the Lord. So I didn't just convert overnight to Islam. It was a process. Our first child was born after a year she was born. He asked me if I'd like to go to Syria so I could understand his culture and learn to cook the food. And I was already showing the interest of wanting to be the good wife and do everything to make him happy, to serve him. So he sent me the first time I went to Syria. I spent 4 months there. I think I was so amazed the first time I went to Syria, the time that they would spend with me. We're not talking about just, how we are in such a rush in America. I'm talking all night long. We would sit up all night long drinking the Arabic coffee and dancing and then drinking the Arabic tea and talking about our deep inner feelings. And they would just spend so much time with me. And it was like every question I had, they were ready to give me an answer. I never felt like I was asking a stupid question, or I never felt rushed. They would spend hours with me explaining anything about culture, about religion, talking about Muhammad and his life and the family life and what a good wife would be like. And just the investment of time was amazing, that I never felt rushed or unimportant. All the holidays of Islam, like the big one, especially Ramadan, the 30 days of fasting, at first, of course, I was an outsider looking in, but the dedication that I saw here in this country of Ramadan was so intriguing to me. I mean, it was, again, bringing in those family values. We'd fast all day, or he would fast, and I would try not to eat in front of him. And then in the evenings, we would always go to the mosque to have dinner at the mosque with everybody. So there again, it was that family feeling of belonging and fitting. And so that all started as a slow process also. And it was just very intriguing. So eventually, I did convert to Islam in Syria during Ramadan. I would go back and forth to Syria, and the jihad is giving with the hand. Muhammad would take $100 bills and he would roll them up very, very tight and then take saran wrap, or like a plastic wrap, and wrap them. And I would travel with small children, so he would take the baby powder or the diapers and he would place these $100 bill rolls. And I don't even know how, I never was allowed to count them, because he would do this and put them in the baby powder or in the baby diapers. The other thing he would do is he would take toothpaste, and they would literally squeeze the toothpaste out of the toothpaste and unroll the bottom and stick the money up in the toothpaste and then send me into Syria. Now, when I do that, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was purchasing homes or businesses or whatever. All I do is give the products to my mother-in-law and let her handle it. The other thing he would tell me is so I didn't have to go through the dollar exchange on the market when I got into the airport. So I have no idea what I was really financing. But I feel like it was more than homes, because I never saw the homes. My mother-in-law at the time, after I got very involved, had read a lot of different books. They were giving me different books to read about how to be the good Muslim wife. She gave me a book on Muhammad, the prophet of Islam's wives. And he had 22 wives, where he only allowed everybody else to have 4. He had 22 wives. And when I got to the story of Aisha, which was his youngest wife, he was 53 years old when he married her, and she was 6 years old. When I read that, I had a 6-year-old daughter at the time, and there was just something that came up inside of me, and I couldn't even imagine any man taking my 6-year-old daughter. And that just started opening a whole doubting process of what I was into. Then I started thinking back about Jesus and looking at the life of Jesus and looking at the life of Muhammad and reading the jihad and all the battles. I mean, there were numerous battles that this religion was birthed not through peace, through war, through battle after battle after battle. And when I would look at the life of Christ, I did the comparison. I just started doing a mental comparison of if we all lived our lives like Jesus, there would be no war. He never took a small child. He never fought any battle to win anybody to his religion. I said, forget about everything else. Forget about the Crusades. Forget about all of this. Let's just go to the roots of the two religions. And it just appeared to me that Christ had a much better deal than what I was being handed through Islam. After I started comparing Jesus to Muhammad, I couldn't buy what Islam was selling me anymore. It started becoming unsettled in my spirit. And I started really praying, and I asked God, I said, God, show me if you're real. Show me who you are. Forget Islam, forget Christianity, forget it all. I want to know the truth. And that was the prayer I started praying. Give me truth. We had had a concert. I was a gospel singer before. We had a concert that night. And during that evening, our youngest daughter openly gave her heart to Christ with her father present at the concert. So, of course, that just infuriated him. So we get back to the house, and that night he said, I give you 2 weeks to come back to Islam. I had already come back to Christ for about a year, and he was thinking it was just going to be a passing phase and that I would get through it and come back to Islam. And with my children present at the table, when Muhammad said, I give you 2 weeks to come back to Islam or I'm going to throw you on the streets, I turned to him and said, Muhammad, I'm ready to die for Christ. And I knew what I meant. I know so often we settle for so many things because we think it's love or because we have such that empty vacuum of needing love. Jesus is the only thing that could fill that. And I tell women all over where I speak, there is no such thing as evangelistic dating. You are not going to get them saved by marrying them or dating them. See, God is not contrary to His word, and it says in Corinthians not to be unequally yoked with the unbeliever. You make sure you know and whom you're marrying. And understand there is no evangelistic dating. They must be born again and love the Lord, or you should not be in relationship with that person.